Women are considered beautiful and therefore desirable. They wield the power of seduction, even passively. I get to talk about pretty privilege because I know I have it. I've had a handsome man offering to help me get my luggage up the stairs at the train station. I've had my lads at college being way too happy to help me when I was struggling, in the very least, with, like, I don't know, sawing metal or some shit. Last year I was at a drag show and I was trying to get up on the bar to be able to see over the tall people in heels that were blocking my view of the stage, and out of nowhere comes this biker looking dude and without saying a word picks me up like a kitten to put me on the bar.
Men just supposed that women are helpless and imposed their help on us to try and dominate us in any way they can.
Ah yes, the great domination technique of assisting someone in what they're trying to do anyway. The thing I literally mentioned being a trad female thing earlier, but okay. Look, I get you, dear. I get peeved too when they assume I need their help. Would I have gotten my luggage up the stairs eventually? Sure. Would I have gotten up on the bar in another few tries? Probably, but it sure did go faster with that guy's help, didn't it? The issue isn't help being offered, it's it being offered regardless of what the other person might want. At the end of the day, if a woman actually wants or needs help with something, she will have an easier time getting it than men do. I know from my own experience that I'm all too happy to lean into the helplessness at times. It's not that I couldn't do the thing if I tried a bit harder, it's just that it's a hassle. I don't want to. I can just make a man do it for me. And unless they have the self-respect to call me on my bullshit and gently encourage me to try for myself anyway, they usually just will. Pretty privilege, at least the way I'm talking about it, isn't really the getting hired based on looks thing that other people might mean by that word. Abercrombie & Fitch headhunting shredded white frat guys sure was based on looks and exclusionary beauty standards and gender conformity. But you wouldn't call that those guys having pretty privilege, right? Pretty privilege isn't applicable to the masc end of expression, even if the masculine beauty is remarkably well executed. Pretty has a specifically femme connotation in English, just like handsome has a masc one. The bias towards femininity is already in the name. Pretty privilege is about feminine gender conformity to the matriarchal ideal. When you're in high school, I dressed in a more femme costume for carnival, and suddenly I got compliments on my legs and my long wig and my friend wants to know if you have a boyfriend jokes. Guys don't make those jokes if they don't mean them at least a little bit. In summer last year, a lady at the supermarket was like, oh my god, you're so pretty, and complimented my flower crown and stuff, and I was wearing a quite high femme outfit that day. I was the most femme person around my lads. I was wearing a femme outfit at that drag show, and presumably the day that guy helped me with my luggage. If it was only about being AFAB and having a conventionally pretty face, then the rest wouldn't make such a huge difference. Compliments one tends to get also tend to revolve around the matriarchal constructed beauty rather than actual features, what you've done with your hair or your nails or your makeup or your outfit, or how you've presented your body rather than what your body actually is. The craft is being complimented rather than the canvas you worked off of. This includes variants for other genders. Pretty boys aren't expected to look like girls, but they are still significantly more femme than their more masculine counterparts due to their androgyny. They thereby represent the most high femme end of acceptable, still recognizably male expression. Once you pass, or at least are transgressing far enough into woman territory, you will surpass male expression and therefore not be measured by male standards anymore. Within the context of their matriarchal being man variant, they hold pretty privilege, and by that virtue, general matriarchal privilege in relevant contexts. They're more likely to get empathy and compliments, more likely to be seen as less dangerous and potentially even more desirable, albeit sometimes in a less tangible way. If male homophobes don't straight up resort to queer bashing, the general consensus on effeminate men tends to be that they are weak, like women. Therefore, it should be spared of the usual male on male violence and lack of empathy that other men get. They couldn't take it, so it would be cruel to subject them to it, and we're gentlemen here after all. Women also tend to feel less threatened by queer or feminine men. They assume that the only reason or way a man could be shitty to them is if they're attracted to them, so if they're not into women, they fall into a completely different category for them. If they're bi, pan, or straight and gender not conforming, women will assume that their androgyny means that they will understand women better, hence treat them better even if they are attracted to them, making them safer and more desirable as partners. Pretty sensitive or otherwise effeminate straight men's androgyny is seen as a boon in their heterosexual pursuit. It is used to affirm their heterosexuality in spite of their gender nonconformity, lending them some conditional acceptance of the latter. Even straight men can indirectly see the appeal of effeminate queer men, because while they may not be able to relate to the idea of being into men, if it's somebody who embodies femme things they know how to be into, it helps them identify with the presumed butch guys dating those femme guys and disidentify with the femmes themselves. Not my deal, but I can see how someone would be into that. This is a very heteronormative view of male homosexual relationships, with the femme one being seen as the woman in the relationship. It ignores how actual queer relationships work, but as long as the straights don't know that, couples who at least outwardly fit into this trope will be more acceptable to straight society and get a certain level of conditional hetero privilege out of it. Of course, this all hinges on not transgressing too much. Gay couples whose expression is more decidedly the same will have a harder time being understood by straight society. Ones who look different but whose dynamic doesn't fit with the straight gender role expectations put on them elsewhere will also be less acceptable. Women will literally fetishize queer and effeminate cis men, but as soon as you start veering into trans-lesbianism and actually claiming womanhood rather than just pretty boy privilege, they can get very defensive and turfy very quickly. This is the kind of stuff I mean when I say there's reverse gender role expectations for queer people. It's still just as prescriptive as the cishet ones, and the true range of stuff the queers get up to is not actually included in them, rendering them kinda useless and counterproductive at the end of the day. Women have easier access to romantic and sexual attention and action, if so desired, than men. This is also why sex work has a mostly male customer base. Women usually don't have to resort to that. Heteronorms dictate that man pursue woman. Therefore, a woman holds the power to choose a partner from her many suitors rather than having to rely on being chosen by them. Ask anyone who's used a dating app on either side of this dynamic, or in both, like I have. Men are desperate and women are unresponsive. It is also more socially acceptable for women to be bi or pan than it is for men. And while this comes with a certain level of dismissal and fetishization, disapproving family members waving it off as a normal exploratory phase to be grown out of, straight men treating women-loving women attraction as less important than the hetero one, sad straight couples harassing the sapphics on dating apps trying to find a third for the threesome that they hope will save their relationship. That is still treating it as something unobstructive to social status, to desirability, and desirable at the end of the day, compared to the potential judgment, violence, and rejection that bi men face instead. This expertise in romance and sexuality once again extends beyond just themselves. Romance media and erotica is dominated by female and AFAB authors and artists. Men make horny mainstream media, but they usually envelop their romance plots and sex fantasies in more traditionally male genres like action or horror. Women skip the middleman and just write romance and porn straight up. Rom-coms are quite often written and or directed by women, at least more so than most other genres in the film industry. So I was watching that new Hocus Pocus sequel with my friends for Halloween, and the woman who directed that, Anne Fletcher, not only directed some of the most iconic rom-coms of the early 2000s like 27 Dresses and The Proposal, but also started in industry as a choreographer for movies like Step Up and Hairspray. Like, she carved herself out like a nice matriarchal niche in the film industry and fucking dominated that shit. That's a matriarchal icon if I have ever seen one. There is also seemingly a higher rate of female directors in the porn industry compared to the regular film industry. That person who draws your steamy hot anime men making out on the internet, most likely AFAB. I would know. Hi. Romance novels, shoujo and boys love manga and manhwa and stuff, usually written by women, or at least under a female pen name, as that is the norm in that industry. Like, I've literally tried finding boys love written by actual men loving men. You essentially can't. It's all either full-on porn, lacking in quality, or not so much boys love as it is just general, like, LGBT plus slice of life. Girls Love Yuri comics, on the other hand, seem to have a much more gender-balanced authorship and audience in comparison. It's once again depressing.